Hello, welcome to MED Analyst channel today. In today's video, I'll be showing us briefly how to create this matrix table. Now this is just the default matrix created, and I'm going to show you how to convert it to this, to have something like this. Now what we have up here and what we have down here, they are both the same thing, but I'm just going to show you how to achieve this. Coloring, I'm going to bring in the SVGs for the bars, coloring, then how to add icons, then this label, the drop down label, and basic things. So just stay tuned while we get into this video. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe, check out my previous video, share this video and drop your comments. I'd love to hear from you. Let's get right in. Now I have this my table already, so I'm gonna let it take up the whole page because I'm working on it alone. So the first thing I want to do, I want to ensure that I'm seeing my text right under the grid. I'll come to the options. Let's have a global font of 14 versus 16. Good. Then let's increase the padding to 10. So let's start from there. You see it's very wide now. We have it longer than I expected. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is to start renaming my headings. Now basically this is patient ID, this is the age. If you check out from this is age, got it from the date and the table. Now this is showing sum because it is summarizing it, and basically what we have here, it's for individual patients, so it's basically for each of the patients, so there's no sum. So if we have different patients that are bearing the same ID, that would have more than one a very increased age. So this is the gender, the first gender. Basically if you check for the last gender, you're gonna get the same thing. Basically that doesn't matter. So what I'm gonna do now is to start renaming from here. I'm just going to click and rename everything. I'm going to give this age. So basically now we've been able to rename our tables to the headings we want. So the next thing I want to do, I want to centralize all our values. Now basically from the value here, we wouldn't be able to centralize it. So what I'm just going to do, first of all, let's put off the total. Then under specific column, the age, I want it centralized. So I'm just going to be selecting one for the other, centralizing it. Now basically we have this. Now I created a measure. Let's take it one after the other. I created a measure for what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my table side by side so that we would see what we're working with. Let's put it here. Just try to put here. Good. So give us a good guide. Now our SBP drop, this is showing down. How did I arrive at that? Now I created a measure, type tolic drop label. Now what I'm doing, I'm formatting our static drop reduction. It's a column by records. Then I give it a 1 decimal place. Then I attach this drop. right? Attach this drop. So I'm going to be using this label rather than the statutory drop I used here, just the column itself. So I'm just going to copy this and drag here and remove this. So I'm going to go back to a specific column, then centralize it. So the next thing I'm going to do, I want to rename it. So something like SVP drop. Good. Now we're getting there. So the next thing I want to work on is the adherence, because it's the simplest. The next simplest we can work on the adherence. So the adherence is just basically under the cell elements. That is the adherence column. I want to have an icon. Put on the icon. Now the icon we used, as you can see, its style is this, the last one here. So remember that we have the poor, we have the moderate, we have the high. So just come here. If the value is poor, you should have this. If the value is moderate, you should have this. If the value is good, now this spellings has to align with what we have in on our columns, right? If you have anything different, it's not going to work. So I can specify where I want it. I want it to be the left of the data, the right. I want the icons alone. Okay, icon should be top, middle. Let's have middle. So let's go. Good. So let's update that. I think our icon was something this, so we use here. Okay, so we do that. Good. So we've been able to identify. So when you see the green, okay, this patient has a good adherence, right? Okay, we're getting there. Now we're going to move into. Okay, let's color this table first. We're going to color this table right now. Just going to go to the default. I put none. Let's put none. Let's put okay. Then the padding left, so it's 10. Good. Then I'm going to bring in the column header. I'm going to label it this color. Now this is the text, so I want the text white. I want the background this color, right? Then I want, that's the column header. The row header, I want the text white. Turn off the branded row column color, then make this good. So I'm just going to drag this. I have no space. So just to be a more safer side, column heading, you're going to centralize it. Good. Something like this. So increase the age edit. So now you can notice the age has some coloring. Okay, that is just basic coloring. What I did there was just color the age. Okay, cell elements. I did this font color. This for adherence. For the age, is the font color. So I think you could go with the default, or you could tweak it just based on how you want it. Good. So now we're going to head to ChatGPT. We're going to give it a prompt on how to arrive at. We're working with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? as you can see. And when you hover over it, you see the code that is written to achieve this. And let's move to the GDP. Now for this, I published a post on my YouTube channel. You can visit the post. Now this post, I gave you a breakdown of how I achieved this from this from this, right? Now I'm just going to read more. Scroll down. Now basically I have a default prompt that I used, so I'm going to go there right now. So I'm going to copy this prompt. So stopping here, copy. I'll go to ChatGPT now and show you how to generate the first SVG for the comorbidity and count column that I created. Now in ChatGPT, I'm going to paste the prompt I copied. Now it says create a conditional formatting solution in Power BI using DAX and HTML SVG for the hypertension, blah blah blah. Now the values 1 comorbidity to 4 comorbidities. If you come to the Power BI, you will notice that the comorbidities, the highest comorbidities are 4, right? They are 4. So I could actually just say, let's do 5. High comorbidities should display as pure styled label of 1 combo to 5 combo and a bar based on the number of visits. So there's a background color. Each bar should be, this is my default color I got for the background. The background color should be lighter color. The text should be centered, dark color for readability, and placed inside a rounded rectangle with clean padding. So as I specify all of this, now the rectangle must have a fixed width that fit up to 10 characters. The reason I said 10 characters is if you count all of this now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8. So 10 characters gives it, okay, you have extra 2 spaces just in case to ensure consistency across all rows. Now I don't have any sample, so let's see what ChatGPT will provide for us. It's still creating. So I'm going to copy this, go to my Power BI. I'm going to create a new measure. Now we have pasted what ChatGPT gave us. Let's go through it and see what we have. SVG. So let's load this and see what we have. So I'm going to close this now. I'm going to need to bring it into the table. Yes, something like that. So I'm going to close the comorbidities we have before. Now we can see it's very tiny. So what we could do under the image size, let's increase the height. Let's make it like 120. Yes. Good. So it gets in there. Let's increase it to 200. Okay. 200 is fine. Let's have some adjustment to our table. Under the grid, the options, 8, then set elements, the adherence. Let's make this at the top. So another thing we could do is the height. Let's make it 80. Let's see. Good. So it was high before. It's 60. Okay, it's better. 50, 50 is better, good. So you can see that we're getting close to what we have here already, right? Now here is longer because we have the 4. Yeah, the max was 4, but yeah, max is 5. So you see that it's longer. So we've been able to do this now. Now the next thing, the same trick I want to apply for the number of visits, right? So let's go to ChatGPT, or we could just create a new measure and number of visits, and just replace the values, right? Let's come over to SVG. I will do number of visits SVG. Now I'm going to come here, check out visits, number of visits here. So let's see what we have here. Now all this doesn't count, doesn't really matter. I could just change them actually, just for consistency sake. Then I'll correct this to visits. Now I'm not sure the maximum visits, but let's stick with 5 first and check. So let's check if everything is set. Let's do this. Now I'm going to do the same thing for number of visits. Just going to bring this here, close this. The number of visits, I need to make it it's an image URL. It's good. So our max visits is actually 5. So you see the 5 is in the full bar. 5 is in the full bar, right? Okay, I think I have 6 visits. I have 6 visits. So it's giving me an error. So what I want to do now, let's tweak our SVG with ChatGPT. I'm going to copy everything I have here. This is my measure for number of visits SVG. I'm going to paste the measure, and I'll say rewrite this so that the bar is showing for each visit. So I'll go further to explain. If I have 1 visit, let it return 1 bar. Same for 2 visits to return 2 bars, and so on. Also allow the max visits of 6. So that's what we have. Now let's copy this. When it's done, it's giving me a long code, so let's try it out. So I'm just going to replace everything I have here with this. Let's create this. Okay, let's run that. So you see, this is another SVG I will click to. The beautiful thing about this is that you could tweak it. It just depends on what you want to achieve, what you want to see, what do you have in mind, right? Good. So I'm going to leave that like that. So I'm going to move to the gender. I'm going to use this measure. Use the conditional formatting, gender colon. The value male and female should display an icon of a male and a female with same background color. with, let's do no background color. The text should be at the right of the icon. Background should be rounded. Okay, let's remove this. Then each bar should be, we don't have a bar, so we'll say each text should be, background should be, okay, let's remove this. The icon of the gender should be centered, a real male face. Okay, that color readability. So let's check this out. Okay, so give us something nice. So let's copy this and use for reports. So after pasting, these are value. So let's see what this gives us. So I'm gonna drag it to there. Okay, give us something slightly different from that, but it works also. So let's see if we can adjust our text size. Font size is 18 already and it's big. Okay, text, let's make it 16. Let's do 18. Let's see if it's any impact. Good, I think it's better. So we are close to what we have here, right? Good. So it's not necessarily you have exactly what we have, but you could tweak it to suit your purpose, right? That's the whole essence of what we are doing. Let's make it look good. So I'm going to rename this. So one thing I'm going to do is to the image, I think is white. Let's make it 120. Let's see. Let's do 150. Let's take 150. Let's take 150. So we have that already. So I'm going to remove this first gender and rename this. Okay, we're getting there. Now the next thing I want to work on is the risk level and the BP control. They seems to be same formatting, so I'm just going to go to ChatGPT and give it a prompt. So I'm going to give it this prompt: create a conditional format installation in Power BI using DAX. So we're working with your risk category. The value, standard risk, and height risk should show the view style, level, dynamic of background. So I could tweak this. Text be centered, white color for readability, placed inside a rounded rectangle. Screen padding. Now 17 characters because this character is long. Standard risk, high risk. So 17 so that it could accommodate everything. Okay. No sample. There's no sample attached. Now, if you have the sample, you could just screenshot the sample and attach to this. It's going to give you the same, a more closer result to what you have. But let's stick with this and see what comes up. So I've copied it. Go to my Power BI report. I'm going to create a new measure. So I'm going to paste this. Now, looking at it, I just want to correct. Replace that with this. I think everything is good to go. So let's see what we have here. Now, the next thing I want to make sure is that I have this as an image URL. Very important. Now, I'm just going to bring in that risk category is my risk level. Good. I think we have something close to what we have there. So we're going to close the risk level. So we're good to go and rename this. Excellent. Then what other thing I want to work on is the BP control. So that is just almost the same. I'll just use the same measure that was generated and replace this with the BP control for 3 months. Then I will give this a yes. Then the risks is low. What else? Let's rename that. So let's call it BP underscore control. Let's check if anything we need to do. Now the width for this shouldn't be up to 17. So let's see if we could reduce the width. Let's try here. Let's do 50 here. Do 50 and see what else. Let's do is 18 font size. What else? Let's try it out. So we have that already. So BP control. Just gonna bring it over here. Okay, we've not made it an image URL. Good, something like this. So, which is not bad. So let's close the former one. Then let's actually rename this. Now the reason it's short like this is because I made it short. So let's about 50. Let's make it like 80. Make it 80. Let's see. I think we'll have a different outcome. Good. It's better. So we'll stick with that. Then one last thing. I think we are done. So you could also add others. It just depends on what you want to achieve. Like I said, you could play around with this with your creativity. Tell the AI what you want to achieve, right? Tell it how you want to see it, and keep training the AI, and it give you what you desire. So you don't have to follow mine the way I did mine. You could come up with a new and dynamic approach to bring in what you want to achieve. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you've learned something, can you drop a comment, share this video, drop a like, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much.